Hello again, and today we're going to be looking at the spare wheel holder and trying to fit that. Now, I keep telling people I'm not an expert, and I'm absolutely not. So I'm learning just the same as you guys. Or, you know, it might be for some of you that you're actually laughing at my inadequacies, which is fine too. Okay, so today we're going to be taking a look at that. But the rain, it's a little bit rainy. So what I'm going to do, look. So this is where I'm going to be prepping the spare wheel holder. So I've had this for a little while now. I just haven't done anything with it because I've been looking to get the van painted and everything. But here, look, let me show you. So this, if I can get all the bits out. So this is from Wheeliams, I think it is. And one of the things that's supposed to be unusual about this is that it doesn't take any sawing or anything. I'm going to cut the hinges. I believe it's just one straight bolt hole through the hinge itself. Now they come like this, so they've got to be painted up. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do this morning. As I said, the weather's not very good, but here we are in our little tent thing, and I'm hoping that that's going to work enough for me to be able to do this. So what have we got exactly? Two main pieces here. They're quite lightweight as well, by the way. They're not very heavy at all. We've got what looks like, yes, I can just break that out. So we've got the holder itself, which is where the spare wheel will connect to. We've got what looks like a bunch of bolts. I also have some locking wheel nuts. Now I brought a pack of these with this just to be on the safe side. Unfortunately, we live in a world these days, don't we? So got a pack of them. It's also worth saying that I'm not getting paid for any of this. This is nothing to do. I've brought this as a customer because it seemed like the best fit for my van and what I want. So, and then it's come with this, and it says poster. So I'm assuming because it says poster, that's what it is. Yeah, there we are. Wheeliams poster. So if you order anything from them, well, at least one of these, it looks like you'll get a free poster. So what I've got here is I've got some spray, right? So this is what I'm going to be using. Spray on paint, got a couple of tins of that. And I've got some bungee cables. Now what I'm going to do is hook the bungee cables over here, and then I'm going to have the framework dangling down here so that I can spray them, right? Like I said, I'm not an expert, especially not at spraying. So I'm figuring that this is going to be an all right way of doing it. So we'll see as we go along. I hope you can see this all right. So what I've done is I've now hung these up. So I've got all three hung up, so kind of like a carcass you'd see in a butcher's. And they're dangling here underneath this lovely gazebo cover, which is I hope going to be enough because the rain's just started to come down a little bit. It's meant to cheer up this afternoon, but for now, this is what I'm stuck with. So, right, so we've got the paint, we've got the materials. I can't put it off any longer. Let's get at it. Okay, so here we are. Got the mask on, got the spray gun, ready to go. All right, so that's the first coat done of the spare wheel holder. So obviously I want to give it some more, so we just got to give it some time to go off now. So in the meantime, my next job is to grind down a spare wheel as well. I've ordered a new spare wheel from I've got it off eBay. It's a bit rough around the edges, but I'm going to give all that a good clean up now. So that's the next job. See you back inside. Adding on some safety glasses this time as well. So they're sunglasses because they're a throwback to my security days when I used to stand up front of stage in the pit and things, and festival goers would throw things at the stage, including bottles of pee and kinds of stuff like that. So anyway, they're safety glasses, but they are sunglasses, but that's all I can find. So here, mask back on, and now I can start cleaning the spare wheel. And what we're going to do now is give it a spray. Coat one done. So when it's dry, we'll give it another. It's looking much better already. So while the wheel carrier is drying, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at fitting this ladder. Now this was on my old van and I thought I might as well use it. So I'm going to try and put it on this one. Now, obviously, let me show you a moment because it's something to consider, right? Because this is a Sprinter van, it has doors that open all the way. So they don't just lock here and stop. What I can do is move the catch and they'll open all the way out, which is great. I like it. But if I put the ladders on, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. So it's a compromise that I have to decide, well, is it worth it to me, right? And you've also got to be worried about, you know, sort of wind catches and stuff, because you've got these on the sides here. Let me pull this back round again. On the sides here, you've got these stoppers, which are great. But of course, that's not going to work with the ladder on. So you're going to hit the side of the van. So I'm sort of figuring that out now as to whether or not it's actually worth it. Now, I like the look of it. And obviously it's good to be able to get up there because it's a high roof. It's a bit of a way, so it'd be helpful in that regard. But is it absolutely necessary? I don't know. Have you got ladders on your van? Do you find them useful? I've got one of those extendables. I could just use that. So yeah, while I'm saying that, don't forget, guys, because I always forget to say this, but please subscribe, like, click the bell notification. It really, really helps the channel to grow. You know, it's only a small channel. I enjoy doing these videos and I'd like to do more, but obviously you sort of run out of steam if there's nobody actually sort of watching or subscribing. So I hope that you do. Thank you. It'd be great. I'd appreciate it, right? Okay, so back to my ladder. Now, again, this was on a transit minibus, so slightly different sizes. So this is going to have to go somewhere around here. I don't know if you can see that. And that's pretty reasonable, that's okay, on the understanding that it fits in the panels at the back end, because we're not interfering with the door handle, and so that looks like it might be all right. Obviously now, let's get the door open. And let's have a look and see where it fits on the panel. So first, obviously, I've got to take this one off. So these are one of the few panels on the van that are, well, not completely ruined. So I'm going to try and take these off gingerly because I'd like to be able to probably reuse them. I mean, they're going to be carpeted anyway or covered over wood. I'm not sure which yet, probably carpeted. But the point is, you know, if I can save a little bit, then let's do that. So let's undo these poppers. I was today years old when I found this out. Okay, now these poppers, I've not seen like this before, right? So they basically, they have a top screw here, which I understood that, turn the screw, and I thought, right, they'll pop out. That's not the case. Okay, so what happens is this here expands when this pushes in. And so what you need to do is pull that out to the maximum here before you try and remove the popper. So I've just struggled like mad with this one, but the rest will go a lot easier now. Let's get you right in on this. So basically I found a pair of needle nose pliers, twist it so you get to this point, and then you grab the top bit with the pliers and you pull that, and you see it extends that out, and then you can just give the whole thing a pull and it comes out really easily. I'm going to try and marry this up now with the inside. I'm sure this would be easier with two people, but hey. It's going to be fine. I always have to G myself up drilling holes in the new van. It's obviously always a bit of a worry that you're going to get it wrong, something's going to happen. Yeah, because you can't really fix it once you've done it. That's the problem, isn't it? So just a little tip here that might be useful for someone. I don't want loads of iron filings in the back of my van rusting it up. So all I've done, taken an old piece of newspaper, and I've just taped this sort of slide stroke funnel thing, whatever you want to call it. So now when I drill through, everything's going to automatically just fall straight out of the van. I don't have to worry about hoovering it up. I will obviously at the end, but I don't have to worry about hoovering. For 99% of it is going to come straight out of there. Makes life a lot easier. So these door panels, they're not very thick. So what I've done is I've built some wooden braces. Now, it's nothing extravagant, nothing that clever. All this is going to do is just wedge behind. Now, I've also got these metal plates as well, which goes onto the back of the steps themselves. So what I'm hoping is by the time we've attached all of this together, it's just going to give a lot more strength to it. It's not something I intend to be clambering up and down every single day, but I do want it to be usable. It's moments like these you wish you had a friend or longer arms, or even both. All right, so the ladder's on. However, it's now pouring down with rain and I'm getting soaking wet. So unfortunately, we're going to stop right there. I'm going to go have some lunch and see whether it cheers up, maybe do a bit inside. Just going to show you this quickly. So this was, the ladder was banging on the side here, right? So it wasn't quite hitting the bumper. So what I've done here, I've attached this as another stopper. So this is just some of the Dodo deadening stuff, right? So, but it's given it a layer there. Sorry, the rain's really coming down now. But if I show you, when I open this up, as it comes round now, so as we can see, there we are. So it basically creates this lovely sponge buffer. Now, obviously, if you slam it, it's still going to whack, but that is going to save my paint job. Morning, here we are again. Yesterday, rain stopped play. We had to give up. It was just too bad. This morning looks okay, so we're going to get going again. So what I'm aiming to do today is to fit this spare wheel holder that we sprayed up yesterday and to get the railwayman's bag up as well, which is what I use to put all the rubbish and stuff in. If the rain holds, that's what we're going to do. So excuse the mess, that's fine. So basically, everything's sprayed up now, which is good because it comes unsprayed, and so you've got to do that yourself, and that's fine. Now, the instructions are all online, so they send you an email and it says download the instructions, right? So done that, okay, and it says basically to just dry fit it together and see how it goes. It's a good idea anyway, just to make sure you've got everything. So what's different about this design, apparently this is the new design, which means that there's no drilling of the hinges required. On the old version, there was a bar across, on the Sprinters anyway, there was a bar across the hinge that you had to cut through. Apparently you don't with these. So again, like with everything else that we're doing, I haven't got a clue, I've never done it before, this is the very first time, and it'll either work or it won't. You're following along on the journey. But that's what I've been informed, that there's no drilling on this one, no cutting. So let's put it together and then let's have a look and see. Okay, so everything's laid out now. Now it's just a case of looking to put that together. So the holder has been loosely put together, so the nuts are just hand tight, right? And now the idea is I'm going to go and try and fit it on the van and see where we are. All right, so I don't know if you can see this, but at the moment it's hitting the stopper, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. All right, so it turns out that it wasn't going to fit with these barn door stoppers on them. So this is the bigger one. So what I've had to do is switch them round and put the the bigger one on the other side, on the ladder side. Yeah, another little inconvenience, but hopefully that's going to fix it for when it all fits on. So if you've got one of these, the bigger stoppers on your barn doors, bear that in mind if you're going to put one of these on. So here's a thought for you, right? Before I bought the van, I'd never even heard of these. I'm not, like I said, I'm not mechanically minded. I don't do vehicles, I do other things. Creative, yes. Mechanical, no. So I got these set of star bolts, these sorts of things, right? And I'm so glad that I did, because the van is just riddled with them. And I didn't even know that I needed them until then. So I've now got a pack of these, which is great because these are what I need for the hinges to get this on. So I've no idea if this is the right thing to do or not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to slacken off the hinge bolts. And then I'm going to take one out. Because I'm not sure how I'm going to fit this single-handedly without the whole door collapsing and falling off, right? So if it does, you can laugh at me. I did tell you guys I wasn't an expert, so and all this does is just kind of prove it, yeah? All right. Now there's also one of these, which is a little plastic clip. Now this goes where the metal of the door meets, just to make sure that there's no problems with the frictional rubbing. So that sits on there, I believe. Okay, so let's try and get the rest of these bolts in. So this is the bag, right? I'll show you when it's on. But this is the railwayman's bag. I picked it up from a boot sale for about a tenner. I can't even remember. I think it was about a tenner. Lots of people since then have told me that it's actually a bit of a collector's piece and I shouldn't destroy it by having it hanging off the back of the van. I like it, and I use it, as I said, to help pick up rubbish when we're out and about. I put our rubbish in it so it's not accessible by wildlife. So it gets a use. It's being used. It's having a good life doing what it does, and anything that promotes positivity within the van life community. Anything where we can be seen to be doing a bit of good can't be a bad thing. So I'm doing exactly the same with this one as I did with the last one. I won't bore you with the details, but essentially inside the satchel itself, I've got a stabilizing board of wood, and that's basically drilled through onto this side here, so you can see those are the old holes. I'm going to cover those with some gaffer tape just to clear it up a little bit. It won't show. So these are the bolts coming through, and they're going to go into the holes that are already drilled up there. Now I've primed them up, given them a bit of rust coat, so I'm just waiting for that to go off a minute before I put these on. So what I'll do in the meantime then is I'll gaffer tape up these holes and get that done. So one of the things is, if you're on your own, trying to offer up the wheel to the holder by yourself and do everything up is actually quite hard work. So what I'm going to do is save myself a little bit of hassle, and I'm just going to take one of the bolts and I'm going to put it in back to front, right? So I'm going to put it in the other way around. Now, the reason for doing that, if you haven't already figured it out, is pretty straightforward. What it means is this. It means I can hang the wheel and leave it there and then attach the other bolts. So there we have it. The back is finished. We've now got the ladders on. We've now got the spare wheel on the spare wheel holder, and we've got a lovely railwayman's bag up there now. So that's the back pretty much done, which is great, because we're fighting the weather. Obviously this time of year it's not ideal for outside fan building stuff, but yeah, I'm really pleased that we've got this far today. So join us again for the next bit.